welcome back to Refining with Jessie, the life coach. I hope everybody's having a beautiful and fabulous day. So today we are going to be touching upon self-sabotage. I did a video a couple of days ago regarding self-sabotage and ways that we sabotage ourselves. The majority of the time, as I mentioned, it's an unconscious behavior. We are not even aware that we are doing it. So in order for your 2020 to be amazing, I want to make sure that everybody is aware of the self-sabotaging behaviors and how it manifests its way and creeps up into our reality. And of course, in order to tackle anything, you have to bring it up to the surface so you are aware that it's even happening. So in my last video, we talked about ways that we self-sabotage, and that was more about the mind. And today we're going to be talking about ways that we self-sabotage, but it's more about inaction or too much action. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So let's jump right into it. So one of the main ways, and I think everybody has experienced this, that we self-sabotage and hurt our own selves is through procrastination. Yes, that is one of the biggest and main ways that we hurt ourselves. And that's putting off the inevitable. That's why it's so harmful, because no matter what, you still have to face it. So why do we do it, right? That's the big question you have to ask yourself. If you are finding that you yourself are putting off projects, if you're putting off assignments, if you're putting off conversations, whatever you are procrastinating on, you have to be able to face it. Usually when we're procrastinating, there's just a few reasons why we do it. And one of them is fear. 2 is we don't know how to move forward. 3 can be that we just figure that we could do it at the snap. Majority of the time, we miscalculate how much time we have to tackle a project, an assignment, or whatever we have to do, right? So whatever the reason is, it's always beneficial that if you are realizing that you procrastinate a lot in life, that you start really reflecting and asking yourself, why do you do it? Because if you don't, you will be stuck in that cycle, probably the cycles that you had the years prior, including 2019, of repeating the same behaviors, missing opportunities, making yourself crazy, not having good time management skills, and feeling overwhelmed. Because when we procrastinate, that's exactly what happens. We procrastinate so much and put things off so bad that by the time it hits us, it becomes so overwhelming. And so, like I said, that's one of the main ways we self-sabotage. And we want to get away from those bad habits if that's something that you're realizing that you have within you. We want to make sure that we're not taking little small things that we have to focus and attack, and not making it into this huge dilemma for ourselves when we finally come to terms that we are going to move forward and face it, right? We want to avoid that. We want to avoid being overwhelmed. We want to make sure that we're avoiding not facing ourselves, our problems, our assignments, our duties, our tasks, conversations with others. We want to make sure that we are moving forward in a healthy way and taking responsibility and accountability for the things we need to take responsibility and accountability for. So number 2 is having a lack of discipline. So having a lack of discipline could stem and manifest its way in people's lives in so many different ways. But when you get to the root of it, if we have lack of discipline, it could create havoc and chaos in our lives. Think about it. You can have lack of discipline in regards to your health, in regards to exercising and maintaining a healthy dynamic, right? You can have a lack of discipline when it comes to work ethics, a lack of discipline when it comes to people, right? You might miss out on opportunities and people and things that are amazing for us and that can propel us forward. If you take a minute to think about what requires discipline, discipline is required in so many aspects of our lives. Any type of higher education requires discipline. And when you don't have it, you might miss out on that educational opportunity just because you don't want to put in the work, right? Like I mentioned with health, if you don't have that discipline and you want to go towards a better, healthy regime here, that's going to require discipline. And if you don't have it, you might just skip over it and say, you know what, nah, I'm not going to do it. Lack of discipline could be, you could miss out on people, right? You might have a person who's great for you in a relationship, but it's going to require discipline, being faithful and being honest and having meaningful conversations and putting effort into relationship requires discipline. It requires you to be present. It requires you to, ignore outside temptation, right? That requires discipline. So when you don't have discipline in your life, you could actually lose out on so many beautiful things and so many beautiful opportunities. Not only that, but when you lack a discipline, you can get yourself into debt. It just becomes a habit of overindulgence for some people, right? Because they don't have the discipline to say no. They don't have the discipline to realize that certain things are not good for them, or they know it's not good for them, but they entangle themselves into these temptations and things that they know they should not be getting into because they don't have it within themselves to be able to say no and to take themselves out of certain dynamics. When you're going towards a goal, or you're going towards a dream, or you want to be an entrepreneur in your life, that is going to definitely require discipline. You have to be disciplined in order to stay focused on what you want. So like I said, lack of discipline stems in people's lives in so many different ways, but a lot of the times, a lot of us suffer from having discipline. So if that is you, it might be beneficial to start recognizing where do you lack discipline in your life, how is that contributing to you not getting what you want, and how to create a regimen for yourself this year that puts you in a state that you are in control of all outside distractions, you are in control of all outside temptations, that you are in control of yourself, your urges, your actions, your overindulgence, and getting yourself aligned with discipline so you could go towards what you want. The third way that a lot of us self-sabotage is by refusing to change. A lot of things in life require us to change, for us to move differently, for us to make different choices, for us to be able to embrace change and take that change and move forward. And a lot of times when we don't embrace change and we refuse to make necessary steps to move forward, and we stay stuck in mindsets, we stay stuck in doing things in the same way, which is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and expecting a different result. When we stay stuck and we stay stubborn and we stay grounded in the fact that we do not want to change, we just self-sabotage ourselves. Refusing to even look at things from a different perspective, or not seeing a separate perspective of what we created in our mind, will always keep us stuck. So it is so beneficial to be able to embrace change. A lot of people missed out on blessings in prior years because they refused to change. So if you're looking to welcome new energy and welcome new opportunities and welcome new people and ways of doing things into your life, that's the number one way to open the door to new blessings, new beginnings, and new energy. So always remember that. The next way that a lot of people self-sabotage is by not knowing when to release, let go, and lay down burdens. Not knowing when to walk away and keeping yourself stuck in certain dynamics is the easiest way to self-sabotage. And now this is a tricky one, because there are times, and there's something to be said about people who can be very resilient and be very, standing within their ground and standing within their truth to get what they want, right? But you have to be able to balance that out and know when things, people, circumstances, and life situations are ready to be released and let go. You have to be very discerning on what you're starting to invest your time in. And if you have been a person that in the past you haven't been very discerning, and you've been that person that takes on a lot of responsibility that's not even yours, taking on other people's burdens, well, it's time to really start reevaluating how you are showing up within your own life and how you are showing up for others. There's a big misconception about what strength and strong people are. And one of the misconceptions that a lot of people believe is that strong people are able to push through barriers that they shouldn't even be pushing through in the first place. Not only that, but there's a misconception that strong people are always responsible for others. And the truth of the matter is that strong people are wise enough to know when it's time to let something go and lay down burdens. What makes strong people strong is that they are smart enough to avoid burdens, not take on unnecessary issues and burdens, especially if they are not their own. You have to come to that point where you start letting other people be responsible for their own burdens and not be that person that comes in to save the day. So that's a big way that people self-sabotage, by carrying other people's burdens, by not laying down burdens when they need to, by staying in dynamics longer than they should when they know it's not for their highest good. So people pleasing is the next one. So a lot of people self-sabotage by investing way too much into other people, what they want, and making others happy. This is one of the biggest ways that people waste their energy, and when it comes time for themselves, self-caring for themselves, self-love for themselves, or going towards their own dreams, their goals, their wants, they're not able to do it because they're putting all their energy into pleasing others. So you have to be aware of how much of your willingness you are sacrificing and giving to others without first even considering your own needs. Now, it's always, always, always great to consider others and be of service to others. And I always say, if you can help someone else, do it. But you also have to make sure that you are in a position to be able to do that first. You have to make sure that you are okay so you can have enough to give to someone else. You also have to make sure that you are making yourself happy, and not in a selfish way, but in a self-reflective way, right? That you are able to give, but you're also considering your own needs, your own wants, and your own desires, so everybody within a dynamic is pleased and happy going forward. The next way that we self-sabotage is by not focusing on personal growth. Now, this is a big one. A lot of times people don't even think about their personal growth. They are not taking the time to say, what do I need to grow? What do I need for myself? What do I need? What lessons do I need to learn? A lot of people are not taking the time to really focus on meditating and focusing and reflecting on things that they are learning or things that are happening around them, to figure out and grasp that lesson so they can get off that wheel and not repeat the same lesson again over and over and over and over. So if you definitely want this year to be completely different from past years, and you never focus on personal growth and took the time to reflect and take the time to really analyze everything that's happening around you, I definitely suggest this year to do that. You want to make sure that you are not self-sabotaging yourself and not putting yourself in a dynamic to get on that cycles of life that go round and round and round until you're able to see the big picture and seek the lesson, right? You can seek the lesson, but you got to learn from it as well. So if that is you, definitely start thinking about ways that you could invest in yourself, invest into growing as a person, and invest into looking at yourself, looking at your shadow side and things that you don't like about yourself, and start thinking of ways of how you can move forward, improve that, and start working on your personal growth. So the next way that we sabotage is by not focusing on our mental and physical health. We are so busy with everything and everybody around us that we do not focus on ourselves. We are not realizing when our mental health is diminishing. We are not realizing when our body is stressed. We are not realizing when things are making us anxious. We are not realizing when things are making us feel uncomfortable. When that happens, we are slowly deteriorating little by little by little. And by the time a lot of people wake up to it, the damage has been done. So it's so important that if you never took a lot of time to really focus on what you're eating, you never take a lot of time to focus on your own self-love, taking time to pamper yourself, taking time to nourish yourself, making sure you're eating 3 meals a day, making sure you're getting some type of exercise, making sure you're getting some type of release, making sure you have an outlet, someone to, speak to, making sure, if you don't have someone to speak to, that you invest in journaling and things of that sort. Definitely make sure that you focus on it this year. This type of self-sabotage just creeps up on us. And it happens so quickly, and it can happen to anyone because we live such a fast-paced life, especially here in New York. Everything is go, 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 go. And if you are a mother or you are a parent or you have a lot of responsibilities, you might have more than one job, things of that nature, you're going to be always constantly on the go. So it's so important to make sure that you are monitoring your stress levels, that you're taking breaks when you need to, that you're taking little vacations when you need to. All these things are going to help with maintaining your mental and physical health. Our next one is not understanding and recognizing our potential. I can't tell you how many people I come across that are burying their potential. They believe they have no skills, no abilities, nothing special about themselves. I'm gonna tell you right now, everybody has something amazing about them. And a lot of people are sitting on those abilities. They believe either out of fear, or they convince themselves or other people, they allow other people to convince them that they cannot push forward, they cannot pursue what they want, they cannot make something out of themselves, they cannot make something out of their skill or their ability. There's a lot of people who have come to me, speaking about creating other facets of income within their lives, bringing in other, streams of income, but they have no idea what to do. And every time I hear this from these types of individuals, these are specific individuals who have an amazing skill and talent that they can help teach to another, but they don't even realize that they're sitting on a gold mine. They don't even realize of, their potential. So that is one of the biggest ways that people self-sabotage. They hold themselves back. So if you're one of those people who have a skill, an ability, a talent, and you want to showcase it to the world, but you are holding yourself back, this year is the year to start saying to yourself, I am going to go forward. I'm not going to let anything or anyone hold me back. If I fail, I fail. No big deal. That's just an opportunity to gather your bearings, start realizing what went wrong, and go in a different direction to continue to manifest what you want. A lot of people, when they're going towards a goal and their dreams, they make mistakes. If that is you and you have made mistakes in the past and you're like, okay, I can't do this, just understand that mistakes are just a way of reconnecting you to the road or the way of how you need to do it. So don't ever let that hold you back. Go for your dreams. Go for your goals, shoot for the stars, shoot for the moon, and go towards what you want in life. Do not self-sabotage yourself. Keep yourself stuck. Keep yourself in a box because you are fearful or don't see your potential. The next one is clinging to the past. Now, this is the ultimate way that people self-sabotage. Clinging to past hurts, clinging to past mistakes, clinging to past pains, clinging to past betrayals, clinging to past life circumstances. That is the ultimate way that people self-sabotage. You have to acknowledge the past as the past. The past is there in the past to teach you, to help you grow, to help you move forward, to propel you to your next phase in life. And when you're not able to move past the past and gain that perspective, you are always going to keep yourself stuck, which is always going to self-sabotage you. You're not going to be able to move forward towards your blessings and to open yourself up to bigger and better perspectives in life. So, if that is you and you've been that person that is clinging to things from the past, people from the past, past mistakes, past miscalculation, whatever it is going to be beneficial for you this year to just let it go. If you do not let it go, you will continue to be stuck. You have to be able to release the past, acknowledge it, accept it, try to understand why it was there, why it had to happen the way it had to happen, so you can gain that footing on starting to move forward. I find once you understand why something had to happen the way it had to happen, or you start understanding a perspective of why a person behaved a certain way, or you start understanding their past to kind of understand them and why they do certain things, then you start gaining a different perspective. It's not about giving a person a pass or anything a pass in life. It's just about saying, okay, I see why this happened this way. I see why this person behaves this way. I see why this had to happen in my life. If this would have not happened, then this good thing wouldn't have happened. Or if this would have not happened, I probably would have kept on that same track, and that wasn't the track for me. So I'm kind of glad that this happened. It's about learning how to appreciate what has happened and why it had to have happened to you, and then taking that understanding and moving yourself forward. If you don't, you're always going to remain stuck in life, holding yourself back, holding on to resentment, holding on to anger, holding on to hurt, holding on to pain, holding on to fear. You want to be able to release that. You don't want to hang on to that. If you do, you're always going to remain stuck, and you're going to self-sabotage yourself. So guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope that this video brought you a little bit of insight. If you are a person suffering from any of these self-sabotaging behaviors, that you're able to recognize it, bring it up to the surface, deal with it, acknowledge it, release it, so you can move forward. Because like I said, if you do not, you're going to self-sabotage yourself. And this year, we want to make sure that we're going towards the year with a good sense of self, and going towards the year with a new perspective, right? So in order to do that, you have to be able to realize the ways that we self-sabotage in our own behaviors and how we keep ourselves stuck. Once you start realizing that, start breaking that barrier, we are able and capable of moving forward. So that is all I have for you today. I will see you in my next one. So till then, bye.